Good morning, my beautiful people. How are you? It is me, and I am back. As you can see, I'm outside enjoying nature. I am an earth sign, so I have to be among my elements at times. And I really, really appreciate being right where I am right now. If only I could stay here for a while, would be wonderful, right? I just wanted to touch base with you guys and say good morning first and foremost. Let you know that I'm thinking of you and I miss you. And I have a few things to talk about, and I may do them this evening. But I was having a conversation last night with a family member, and we were talking about, you know, relationships and when the relationship ends, and how someone is usually bitter. And a lot of times the males turn out to be a lot more bitter about the breakups than females. And we were in agreement that most of the time females don't really carry that much resentment, guilt, anger, um, shame, embarrassment, or let me say, I want to make sure I'm saying the right word, or lack of, as if they're kind of destitute when it's done, because you know a lot of times when you break up, somebody is wishing for the other one to fail or come crawling back and showing that they need them, when technically if you've given all you had while you were in the relationship, male or female, you will walk out with victory, and you won't have to look back, and you won't have to be holding on to anger and regret. The only anger sometimes a person will hold on to the most is feeling like they wasted their time. But once again, I'll say, don't feel that you wasted your time, because all of the time that you was with that individual could not have been miserable time. If so, then shame on you for putting yourself through that. Um, we were just saying how women are different. Women suffer in silence a lot of times in relationships, and we love men past their faults. And the more we love past the faults, because we're fighting so hard for you, the man, to see the potential in you that we see as women. And they'll hold it out, they'll stick it out with you and stay grounded with you, hoping that you would finally look up in the mirror and see yourself for what they see in you, and watch you grow and be a part of helping you, help nurturing you, and moving you into your stance as to the man that they know you could be. And a lot of times, they suffer such in silence, the women. When men meet them, they're flowers, they're blooming, they're thriving, they're beautiful. And then you get them and you take them home with you, and either you're going to do two things with them. Are you going to minister to the flower, and you're going to keep nurturing the flower and doing the necessary things so the flower can grow to its fullest potential, or the flower will slowly wither and die. And a lot of times women are starting, they become a little silenced in the relationships. They get to a point where they're now a mom, a wife, or a spouse, and a home caregiver and provider, and um, you know what I'm saying, taking care of home. And if they work, then that's just an extra load that they carry. So with that being said, a lot of times they already die in the relationship before they let go and walk away. So once they decide that enough is enough and they walk away, it's no regrets or remorse, because they've already been through the most painful part of the breakup, is breaking up in the relationship without the words being spoken, meaning they have already let go way before they walked out the door. So I just wanted to put that out there, because a lot of males tend to get angry, and a lot of times when I see this, is either you're angry because you know you now messed up, or you angry because you no longer have control. Because for some reason, when man get woman, they want to feel like they own them. Like, we own no one, people, and you've heard me say this before. But I want to clarify something, because a lot of cases, a lot of men out here, and I'm not talking about every man, so please make sure you understand exactly what I'm saying. But there's a lot of men out here that have gotten these beautiful flowers that's called women, and they've clipped them and snipped them and taken them from whatever atmosphere and put them in their own little kingdom. And then she just became something to sit over there on the mantle while he runs around and looks for other game. And women have put up with these things in relationships, and men have, you've done stuff time and time again. I've seen where men, if you're not cheating on a woman, you're running around badgering her and accusing her of all kinds of things that nine times out of 10 she's not doing. And that's enough to start destroying the relationship right there. you know, Physically beating on them, putting your hands on them, calling them out their names and belittling them instead of building them and nurturing them and helping them grow. You're doing the opposite, and these are the results of it. Now the breakup has happened, and you're looking at her, you're hoping and praying that she failed, but she didn't fail. Every time you seen her, she was thriving and blooming even brighter than the flower you saw when you met her. And that's called grace. That's the grace that God bestow upon you when you have done the right thing by the people that you are assigned to, you know. And I'm speaking from a window of me looking in and what I saw as I grew up and dealing with life and having my own experiences. Right now I'm speaking for women, but I do know that there are a lot of great men out there that women have mistreated and mishandled and done hurtful things to as well. So please don't ever think that I'm just standing and taking side of women. I'm taking side of the truth, and I'm standing on the fence right now because some men have been victim to being mistreated, abused verbally, emotionally, mentally, as well as physically. Some women are very violent out here, and the first thing they do every time they're in their feelings, they want to strike. So I'm just speaking on the relationship and when it comes to an end, and how we as a people like to hold on to such anger. It is no need to hold on to anger if you evaluate everything and know the part you played in, and if you know you put your all into it and you gave as good as you had in you, then there's no need to walk around with regret or anger because you did your part. You did the best you knew how. And if all of it that you gave was what you sincerely gave from the heart with expectation as to being treated the same way, then there's no need to hold on to grudges. There's no need to be angry. But a lot of times people get angry when a relationship comes to an end for the simple fact that you had something, and in your mind, you told yourself it would always be there, no matter how you treated it, no matter how much you neglected it. The person would stay around for you. That's not real love, folks. That's not real commitment, because you shouldn't be committing to anything that you wouldn't have the patience to be caring and kind toward at the same time. So all I can say to the persons that are angry about the failures of a relationship is just learn from whatever it is you've done. Make it right. Make it right. And even if you can't make it right with that individual, go back and just make it your business to do better in the next relationship. Some relationships were just practice, no matter how long they last. But there's no need to walk around with anger, because that becomes baggage. And with the baggage, you're going into your next relationship already jacked up. And we definitely don't need any more jacked up individuals out here in the world. Do you agree to that? Because I am sick of looking at them, okay? And my thing is this. I I've had a long-term relationship, and I may have been I could have gotten angry, and I probably had some moments of anger, because one thing about it, breaking up in a relationship and you to put so much time and effort into the relationship is just like a grieving process that you go through, because it's a death. It is a death. And someone is not a person that died, but the relationship died. Your friendship has now taken a turn to the unknown. And if you can remain to be friends and cool and cordial and respectful with one another after it's all said and done, then that's a blessing. That's a real blessing, you know. But it's a process, and yes, it is a grieving process. So you will go through the stages of grief, denial first. Then you're gonna go through a little bit of anger and all kinds of things that we go through when we experience death, because that's what it is. It's a death. That relationship has now expired, but it doesn't mean you can't take what you got and put into that relationship and what you got out of it and apply that to yourself today, and know what you don't want in your next relationship, know what you are expecting in your next encounter. And for that much there will make you a greater person and a more respectable being in the new relationship that you are allowed. Um, that was just something we was talking about. We was just speaking on how, women suffer in these relationships quietly, and they take on a lot. They forgive a lot. You go out here, you cheat, you do whatever you do, you come back, you explain to her that person didn't mean anything. And to me, that's a bigger insult than you telling me that you just was trapped between two loves. Sound better than you telling me you gambled with us for against nothing. That's not going to work. But it's a learning experience. And if you know how long you've been through it and you last, and how if one thing for certain, you can't last in anything unless you're communicating and working past some things. So that's already a good place to start when you go back and look. Okay, one thing I did like about this person here is that we could always go back and talk. The thing I didn't like about him is that. So now, in my next relationship, I don't like these things right here. And I definitely look forward to these particular behaviors when it comes to communicating strongly with one another. That's how you start to weigh your options and start to let go of the resentment. There's no need to hold on to it. It didn't work. And if you feel like you messed it up, now that you may be sitting somewhere with your foot up your behind, that's cool. Guess what? Now you say, you know what, I messed up, but I'm gonna get it right this time. And even if I can't get her back or him back, I'm gonna just make sure I do right by the next one. How about that? Fair enough? I love you guys, and I could go on and on, but I'm on a quick little movement right now. So I'll get back with you later. I miss you. Smooches. Mwah.